Hollywood loved to call itself golden, but that shine, it came from a reflection of who they left out.
My skin is black.
My skin is black.
No. Her skin is white.
For black actors, it wasn't a spotlight, it was a searchlight. While white America was sipping champagne and walking red carpets, black actors were fighting to even get through the studio gate. Some had to play maids, butlers, slaves, and sidekicks just to survive, just to help America look comfortable with itself. But make no mistake, these weren't just side characters. They were survivors. They were architects of dignity, working in a world built to humiliate them. Hollywood tried to frame them, and they learned how to break the frame from the inside. Every yes sir and no ma'am carried centuries of coded pain. But behind those smiles were souls that refused to bow. Imagine trying to be legendary in a system that wouldn't even let you be human. These pioneers didn't just act, they existed loudly in a world that wanted them quiet. No social media, no interviews on The Breakfast Club, just raw talent, relentless grace, and the kind of patience you only inherit from ancestors who survive worse. These are the 10 Golden Age Hollywood pioneer black actors.
Look, boy, don't go put me on no stand. I don't answer to nobody.
Before we had Black Panthers, we had black performers who fought back with style. They turned every line of dialogue into protest. They turned the camera lens into a weapon, a soft, elegant rebellion. They weren't just entertainers, they were blueprints. Every time they walked on set, they were laying down a foundation for visibility, for respect, for power. And that's the part people miss. This wasn't just about fame, it was about existence. Every step they took on screen was a middle finger to the lie that they didn't belong. Every role, no matter how small, chipped away at the walls of an empire built on exclusion. So tonight, we're rolling the reel back to the smoke, the jazz, and the quiet revolution that happened under studio lights. Back to the days when being black in Hollywood wasn't about endorsement deals or Oscars. It was about surviving erasure. It was about showing up even when nobody wanted you there. This ain't nostalgia, this is recognition, because behind every first black Oscar, there was a crowd of forgotten faces, people who paved the way with patience, humor, and pain they never got to unpack on camera. The Golden Age looked polished, but these were the ones who held it together with courage. So yeah, we're gonna talk about them, the ones who made history just by showing up, the ones who turned oppression into performance, silence into art, and pain into proof. This is their story, their close-up, their gold, finally unchained. Let's start with Hattie McDaniel, the first black person to ever win an Oscar. Hattie McDaniel was born on June 10, 1893 in Wichita, Kansas, the 13th child in a house where survival was the family business. Her parents, Henry and Susan McDaniel, were both formerly enslaved. They knew freedom was a word America hadn't fully figured out yet. So they raised their kids to work hard, stay sharp, and keep faith even when faith didn't keep you. By the 1910s, she was touring with minstrel shows, doing comedy and singing the blues, hustling stages before Hollywood even knew her name. She brought charisma to roles that were meant to be invisible. Her defining moment came in 1939 with Gone with the Wind. She played Mammy, the maid, the caretaker, the archetype America couldn't let go of. That performance was so powerful, it couldn't be ignored. In 1940, she became the first black person ever to win an Academy Award. Hattie McDaniel passed away from breast cancer on October 26, 1952, in Los Angeles, California. She was 59 and never had children, but her legacy raised a generation. Every time a black actor steps on stage and gets recognized for their work, Hattie's spirit is in the room, wearing that same proud smile she had in 1940. Next is Paul Robeson, the pioneer black actor born on April 9, 1898 in Princeton, New Jersey, to a formerly enslaved father and a mother from a respected Quaker family. His early life was marked by hardship. His mother died when he was 6, and racism followed him everywhere. Still, Robeson excelled. He earned a scholarship to Rutgers University, where he became class valedictorian and an All-American football player despite being assaulted by racist teammates. After studying law at Columbia University, Robeson left the field when a white secretary refused to work with him, a moment that pushed him toward acting. His stage roles in All God's Children Got Wings, 1924, and The Emperor Jones, 1924, made him a sensation. His deep voice and commanding presence captivated audiences, especially with his iconic Old Man River in Showboat.
That old man River, he must know something, but don't say nothing, he just keeps rolling.
Robeson's activism against racism and his sympathy for socialism made him a political target in America. Blacklisted during the McCarthy era, he lost his passport and much of his career. Despite this, he remained a global symbol of courage. He died on January 23, 1976, in Philadelphia, and was buried in Hartsdale, New York. Robeson's legacy endures as an artist who refused silence in the face of oppression. At number 8 is the woman who turned glamour into protest, Lena Horne. Before Beyonce, there was Lena Horne, beautiful, brilliant, and black in a world that couldn't handle all three. Born in Brooklyn in 1917, she joined Harlem's Cotton Club at 16, performing for crowds who applauded her voice but not her skin. Hollywood loved to frame her face but never her freedom. In Cabin in the Sky and Stormy Weather, she was perfection. So perfect that the South cut her scenes from the reels. Horne didn't play quiet. She marched with the NAACP, spoke out during segregation, and became the first black woman to sign a long-term studio deal. When she passed in 2010, she left behind the truth every artist of color still feels. Sometimes your talent breaks ceilings, but your skin still hits glass. Number 7, Dorothy Dandridge, the beauty who Hollywood punished for being too real. If pain could wear red lipstick, it looked like Dorothy Dandridge. Born in 1922 in Cleveland, she grew up performing for white crowds who clapped without respect. Her big moment came with Carmen Jones, 1954, where she became the first black woman nominated for a Best Actress Oscar. That should have made her a superstar. Instead, the industry locked her out, refused to let her kiss a white man on screen, refused to pay her like a lead. They loved her image but feared her presence. Her final years were spent fighting debt and heartbreak. Found dead at 42, her story became a warning. Hollywood will build you a pedestal just to watch you fall off it. Sidney Poitier is our 6th black pioneer Hollywood actor. He was the man who made dignity dangerous. He didn't shout, he didn't joke, he didn't tap dance to be accepted. He walked into rooms like he belonged, and that terrified America. Born in 1927 in Miami to Bahamian parents, he grew up poor but proud. After years of rejection, he mastered his craft and forced Hollywood to see a black man as intelligent, moral, and unbreakable. The Lilies of the Field, 1963, made him the first black man to win a Best Actor Oscar, and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, 1967, made white audiences confront their hypocrisy. Poitier didn't just act, he negotiated the future for every black performer after him. When he passed in 2022, Even Hollywood had to bow. At number 5 is Harry Belafonte, the charmer who sang protest songs in disguise. Harry Belafonte looked like he came out of a romance novel, but his soul came from a revolution. Born in Harlem in 1927 to Jamaican parents, he started as an actor before realizing his voice could move nations. Deo made him a global star, but Harry didn't chase fame, he chased justice. He funded civil rights campaigns, mentored Martin Luther King Jr., and called out racism when others played polite. Hollywood couldn't handle his politics, so he made his own lane, becoming the first black man to win an Emmy. When he died in 2023 at 96, the headline said, singer, activist, legend. But really, he was proof that rhythm can be radical. The 4th black pioneer artist is Bill Bojangles Robeson, the man whose shoes told America's truth. Bojangles was born in 1878 in Richmond, Virginia, poor, hungry, and rhythm-built. His tap shoes became his weapon, his smile became his armor. He danced alongside Shirley Temple and broke color barriers in vaudeville, on Broadway, and in film. But even as one of the highest paid black entertainers, he couldn't escape the system that kept him bowing after every performance. White America loved his rhythm, but never respected his struggle. When he died broke in 1949, Harlem shut down for his funeral. Tens of thousands came to pay their respects to the man who danced so we could walk freer. Number 3, Canada Lee, the actor who refused to stay silent. Canada Lee was too smart for Hollywood's nonsense. Born in Harlem in 1907, he went from boxing rings to Broadway stages, bringing depth to roles written with none. In Lifeboat, 1944, and Native Son, 1951, he played real men, proud, intelligent, complex, and that scared the establishment. When he spoke up about racism and inequality, they blacklisted him. Un-American, they called him. Translation, too outspoken for a black man. He died young in 1952, but his courage set the tone for every artist who uses their platform for truth. At number 2 is Ethel Waters, the blues woman who sang her way out of hell. Ethel Waters wasn't born with a silver spoon. She was born with a broken one. Raised in poverty in Pennsylvania, she turned pain into music, singing the kind of blues that could make the devil cry. She rose through Harlem's clubs and became a Broadway powerhouse before Hollywood came calling. In Cabin in the Sky and Pinky, she made audiences feel something deeper than applause. Ethel didn't play small. She was fierce, complicated, and unapologetic. Later in life, she found faith and kept performing until the end. She died in 1977, but her voice still lingers like smoke after a fire. Finally, Stepin Fetchit, the man who played the fool to feed his family. His real name was Lincoln Perry, but Hollywood called him Stepin Fetchit and made him the face of the lazy, shuffling stereotype. But behind that caricature was a hustler who flipped racism into revenue. Born in 1902, he became the first black millionaire actor, working a broken system to survive it. His roles in Judge Priest and The Gay Deceiver made him famous but also infamous. Critics called him a sellout, but Perry always said, "I played the game with the cards I was dealt." He died in 1985, still controversial, still complex. His legacy isn't clean, but neither was the world he had to navigate. And that right there is the truth about Hollywood's so-called golden age. The shine was real, but it didn't glow for everyone. These actors, from Noble Johnson's trailblazing ambition to Freddie Washington's quiet defiance, didn't just play roles. They rewrote what was possible for every black performer who came after. They fought against scripts that mocked them, systems that boxed them in, and studios that refused to see their worth. Yet somehow they left fingerprints all over Hollywood's foundation. You can still feel their influence in every Oscar speech, every box office hit, every time a black actor takes center stage and owns it. So next time you watch a classic film, remember that behind the glamour, the jazz, and the black and white charm, there were pioneers carving light into the darkness. They may not have gotten the credit back then, but they sure as hell earned their place in the reel of history. This was 10 Golden Age Hollywood pioneer black actors. If you learned something new, don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep that glee alive. Yo, that's game for your brain. Now let it breathe, dropping gems every time. You best believe. Hit that sub, don't leave it on scene. Stay woke, stay wise, keep your mind clean.